This wasn't just a parking argument. It was the moment a stranger screamed, "Prove who you are," and accidentally destroyed her own life forever. It started on a quiet Saturday morning, the kind where nothing dramatic ever happens. I pulled into my usual apartment parking lot, coffee in hand, half asleep, just trying to beat the heat. One empty space remained. No sign, no number, no warning. I parked. That's when the scream came from behind me, sharp enough to cut glass. "You can't park there." I turned around to see her. Perfect haircut. Sunglasses too big for her face. Phone already recording. The kind of woman who looks like she's been waiting for a fight all day. She marched toward me like the ground belonged to her. "That's my spot," she said. I calmly asked, "Is it assigned?" She scoffed. "I've parked here for 3 years." I pointed at the empty wall. "There's no name, no sign." That's when her voice changed. Louder, meaner, performative. Neighbors started peeking through curtains. She wanted an audience. "People like you always do this," she said. I asked what she meant. She smiled. "You know exactly what I mean." I pulled out my phone, not to record her, but to call the property manager. That's when she snapped. "No, we're settling this now," she said, stepping closer. "You don't even live here." I told her my apartment number. She laughed. "Prove it." I showed my digital lease. She waved it off. Fake. My patience thinned. I offered to move while management sorted it out. That should have ended it. Instead, she went nuclear. "I want proof," she announced loudly. "Real proof." I asked what kind. She took off her sunglasses, eyes wild with confidence, and said the words no one expected. "Get a DNA test." The parking lot went silent. People gasped. Someone laughed nervously. I thought she was joking. She wasn't. She genuinely believed that if I couldn't biologically prove I belonged there, I was an intruder. "This building is for families," she said, "not imposters." I asked her how DNA would prove a parking space. She leaned in and whispered, "Because I know who lives here." That's when I realized this wasn't about parking. It was about power, control, and humiliation. She didn't know it yet. But by demanding that DNA test, she had just pulled a thread that would unravel everything she was hiding. The police arrived faster than expected, lights flashing like this was a real crime scene. Karen straightened her posture the second she saw them, slipping into victim mode with expert precision. Tears appeared on command. Her phone was already recording again. "That's him," she said, pointing at me. "He's trespassing. He refuses to prove he belongs here." One officer asked calmly, "Sir, is this your residence?" I nodded and repeated my apartment number. Karen interrupted. "He's lying. I've lived here 8 years. I know everyone. I've never seen him." That should have been the end of it. People move in and out all the time. But then she dropped her favorite weapon. "I feel unsafe," she said. The temperature changed instantly. The officers shifted. One asked for my ID. I handed it over. My address matched the building. Karen rolled her eyes. "IDs can be forged," she said. "These days anyone can fake documents." One officer frowned. "Ma'am, what exactly are you asking for?" She inhaled dramatically. "I want proof. Real proof. Something permanent." The same officer blinked. "Like what?" She said it again, louder this time. "A DNA test." The officers exchanged a look. One of them actually laughed before catching himself. "Ma'am, that's not how residency works." Karen wasn't backing down. "This building has standards, families, bloodlines." That word hit me. Bloodlines. The officer asked her, "Are you related to the property owner?" She hesitated, just a fraction of a second. But I noticed. "Yes," she said quickly, distantly. The officer raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, I'm going to need to verify that." Her confidence wavered. She pivoted. "Fine, then test him. If he belongs here, his DNA should match someone." Silence again. Tenants gathered closer. Phones came out. This wasn't just my problem anymore. This was entertainment. The officer finally said, "Sir, you're free to go." "There's no legal requirement for—" Karen snapped. "So you're just letting him take my spot?" I offered once more to move. The officer told me I didn't have to. That enraged her. "You see?" She yelled at the crowd. "This is how they get away with it." One tenant whispered, "She's unhinged." That's when the property manager arrived, breathless and annoyed. He confirmed my lease instantly. No confusion, no doubt. Karen's face drained of color. But instead of apologizing, she doubled down. "Then test all of us," she said. "Let's see who really belongs here." That's when the manager said something that changed everything. "Karen," he said quietly, "do you remember how you got this apartment?" Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. She didn't answer. The parking lot felt smaller now, like the walls were closing in. Everyone sensed it. This was no longer about a parking space. The property manager didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. "Karen," he repeated, "how did you get this apartment?" She crossed her arms, defensive, cornered. "I applied like everyone else." He nodded slowly. "No, you didn't." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Karen laughed nervously. What are you talking about? He pulled out his tablet and scrolled. This unit is reserved. Always has been. It's tied to a legacy clause. That word again, legacy. For direct family members of the original owner, he continued. You claim that status. Karen lifted her chin. Because it's true. The manager looked at her, then at the officers. We never received documentation. Just an affidavit. Signed by her. My stomach dropped. You self-certified? One officer asked. Karen's voice sharpened. I didn't lie. The manager tapped the screen. The owner passed away last year. The estate requested a full audit. That includes residency verification. Karen froze, which, he added, includes DNA confirmation for legacy claims. The irony hit everyone at once. Her own demand had summoned this moment. You can't be serious, she whispered. Karen tried to laugh it off, but her hands shook. This is ridiculous. You can't force me. The officer spoke gently. Ma'am, no one is forcing you. But refusal means your claim is void. The crowd leaned in. Phone's recording. This was real now. She pointed at me, desperate. Test him first. The manager shook his head. He's a verified tenant. You're the only unresolved case. Silence. Karen looked around, searching for support. Found none. Finally, she snapped, Fine, do it. Weeks passed. Life went back to normal. Or so I thought. Then the letter came. Not to me, to everyone. Notice of lease termination. Unit 3B. Karen's unit. The results were clear. Brutal. Unforgiving. She wasn't related to the owner. Not even remotely. In fact, the DNA matched something else entirely. A different family. A name I recognized. One of the tenants. Turns out Karen wasn't legacy. She was illegally subletting under a stolen identity from a distant cousin. Someone who had lived here decades ago. The audit uncovered more. Fake complaints. False police reports. Years of harassment used to bully real tenants out. All documented. All traceable. All because she wanted to control a parking space. On moving day, she avoided eye contact. No sunglasses, no phone. Just boxes and silence. As she left, the same spot she fought over stayed empty. No one parked there. No one wanted it. The day Karen moved out, something strange happened. The building felt lighter. No shouting from balconies. No notes taped to doors. No complaints posted in the lobby like public warnings. Just quiet. The empty parking spot stayed empty for days. Almost like a memorial. People walked past it without stopping. No one wanted to be the next story. Then slowly things changed. Neighbors who never spoke before started saying hello. Someone set up a small bench near the entrance. Kids began riding their bikes in the courtyard again without parents hovering nervously. The building exhaled. The property manager sent a follow-up notice. New rules. Transparent processes. No anonymous complaints. Every report required evidence. Names. Accountability. Turns out Karen had filed over 100 complaints in 3 years. Noise. Pets. Parking. Suspicious. Behavior. Most were exaggerated. Some were outright lies. All had been used to scare people. One tenant admitted she almost moved out because of Karen's constant reports. Another said she stopped inviting family over. A third confessed he'd parked 2 blocks away just to avoid conflict. None of us realized how much space one person could take up until she was gone. A month later, the building hosted a small gathering. Nothing official. Just neighbors bringing food, sitting outside, sharing stories. Someone joked about making the empty parking spot a garden. Another suggested painting a line through it and calling it neutral ground. We laughed. Real laughter. Then the property manager shared one last update. Karen hadn't just lost her apartment. The false police reports led to fines. The identity misuse led to charges. The lawsuits from tenants she harassed were moving forward. All because she needed control. The wildest part? The DNA test she demanded never actually needed to happen for anyone else. Her insistence on proof forced an audit that exposed everything she tried to hide. Power doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like paperwork, records, receipts. Weeks later, someone new moved into Unit 3B. A quiet woman. Smiled politely. Parked wherever was available. No drama. One morning, I finally parked in that infamous spot. No one yelled. No one filmed. No one cared. It was just a parking space again. And that's when it hit me. Karen didn't lose because of karma, or justice, or even the DNA demand. She lost because her need to control others forced the truth into the open. And once the truth shows up, there's nowhere left to park your lies. Can you believe what just happened? If you're shocked like me, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more crazy Karen stories. Comment below. What would you do if someone demanded a DNA test over a parking spot?